Hello, friends, it's me again, Mr. Review, and I'm here to make it simple and clear. Say, we're racing to the end. It's fast and furious to the end. Let's do our best. Today, Mr. Review will be talking quickly about the presidency, the executive branch. What? The executive branch? Remember, Alexander Hamilton said, "We need an energetic president." But yet the founders in the Constitution didn't seem to give the president too much energy. Most political scientists would look at Article 2, that area of the Constitution that describes presidential powers, and most political scientists will say, not very impressive. Oh, but how things have changed. Today, the president's power is quite large and quite imposing. This is because of those informal powers, such as the bully pulpit. The President of the United States can stand up, give a speech, visit a town, and of course it's covered on national television. The President of the United States can help control the agenda, both foreign policy and domestic. This bully pulpit gives the President innumerable powers of persuasion and bargaining with Congress, who writes the laws. We have an energetic president, which means he can act sometimes unilaterally, without oversight, like commander-in-chief. The president can order troops in just about any place at any time, and there is no check on that decision until many days and many weeks later. Some political scientists have called this the prerogative power that the Constitution has embedded in the executive branch. Certain prerogative powers. This has been a big debate today as the Supreme Court talks about the administrative state and whether or not there should be limits. A little bit more on that later. But let's think about the roles that the president plays. First of all, the President of the United States is the CEO of the United States, the Chief Executive Officer. He or she oversees the entire federal bureaucracy. All those national workers for the national government speak to someone and they answer to the President of the United States. The president is also the commander-in-chief. We've already talked about that. The president of the United States is also the chief of state. He is the embodiment of America, the ceremonial leader. If he invites certain championship teams or to the White House, it's the president who meets with them. If there's a sad, solemn funeral to attend of an international leader, the president of the United States goes. He or she is the chief of state. The President of the United States is also the chief diplomat, overseeing foreign policy. It is this area that the Constitution empowers the President the most. The President of the United States is also the chief legislator, influencing Congress, setting the agenda, giving that annual State of the Union address, which establishes certain national priorities that the President will push for in the future. But let's not forget also, somewhat informally, the President of the United States is the chief of party. He or she is the emboldened leader of the national political party he or she represents and works tirelessly to get that party elected into other offices. And helps to raise money, I might add. The President of the United States is extremely busy. But let's not forget, he or she oversees a very vast federal bureaucracy. Federal bureaucrats are those national workers who fulfill the laws and duties and obligations of the national government. The federal bureaucracy today employs, what do they say, over 3 million people. The federal bureaucracy. The cabinet level officials help the president oversee this. But the cabinet isn't all that powerful because they have divided loyalties, not only to the president who appointed them, but also to their own departments, like Department of Treasury or Department of Defense or Department of State. But don't lose sight of those independent regulatory agencies. These independent agencies like the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. These independent commissions help provide regulations and oversight in areas that matter to us most. So the federal bureaucracy is really the verb of our government. Oftentimes in class we study the nouns, but who actually does government? Who actually works government? This is the federal bureaucracy. Oh, did you ask a question about the iron triangles? Oh, this is so confusing. Iron triangles are just a metaphor to help us understand how government works. Each point represents a vital player in a policy-making process. For instance, the Iron Triangle is made up of 3 points. 1, a congressional committee. 2, a federal executive agency. And 3, an interest group. Take agriculture, for instance. Take the House Agricultural Committee, the Department of Agriculture in the federal bureaucracy, and the American Dairy Association, for instance. This Iron Triangle helps explain how dairy policy is made, and why the cheese you bought yesterday may not be available to me where I live because of various dairy regulations, all a part of the policy-making process. Ha! Confusing. Tell you something else that's confusing is how we elect our president. Remember, you and I do not vote directly for him or her. It's the Electoral College. The Electoral College is a winner-take-all system where the votes that we cast in our own states are kind of like a beauty contest, influencing the electors. In the end, however, the 538 electors cast their votes, and a simple majority is required to become president. 270. As we've seen in recent years, sometimes you can win the national popular election and lose in the electoral colleges. Oh my, how does that happen? Not enough time to get into that debate today. You talk about it in your classrooms. Anyway, we're talking about the presidency and the federal bureaucracy, the executive branch. My name is Mr. Review, and I'm here to help make it more simple and clear.